how's it going, guys? We got another figure review here for you. For this one, we got Lord Starkiller from Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. This is one was really excited to pick up. I grew up playing the Force Unleashed games, and even still to this day, I'll boot it up and play it over again. And it's just a series that's pretty nostalgic for me. So when I saw Hot Toys announce this, I was pretty excited to pick it up. We got to look at the box here, big portrait of the figure right up front, and then the band at the bottom, just showing his name and another portrait of him. But here we've got him out of the box, nothing super fancy, no crazy poses, just standing straight up and down so you can get a good look at him. Here we see the cloth hanging down from his belt. It is wired, so it does hold its shape if you want to make it look like it's blown in the wind or anything is affecting it. Just keeps its shape, which I like a lot. The helmet here we see is very Vader inspired, which makes sense because it's his apprentice. And you see by the T-visor, it's also pretty Mandalorian inspired. But there's a lot of great detail on it. You can't see too well in the clip. Again, I apologize for the quality in this specific one. His clothes, though, they are not made of pleather, though they look like it. They are made of fabric, so you can bend it in any way and it won't affect the look of it. So you can keep it bent and it'll, hold its shape. It won't stay wrinkled or anything like that. And on the back here, I do have all the lightsabers on his belt. Those are the accessories, but I'll go through those guys, all the lightsabers so you guys can get a proper look at them and in better quality. We see he's got a little braid here, like a Padawan braid. I'm not the biggest fan of that. You can remove it, which is probably what I'm going to opt to do. I think it just doesn't really fit his overall look. But, to each their own with something like that. We see he's got shoulder pads here. Those are removable. Same with the collar pads. It's just Velcroed on. Mainly for, like, posing. If you are going to do an intense pose where it's better to take those off, you can just take them off and add them back on easily. Same with the crotch one. If you don't want that for whatever reason, that one does also come off. And on the back here, see his gauntlets has got some wires on it. And when you're doing when you're replacing the hands, be careful. Because you see on both ends, they are very sharp and they will stab you. So it's a little difficult to get the hands on, but if it's for the detail, then that's perfectly fine with me. You see down here, got the full look at the boots and boot covers. Those do slide up, and you also see, you can kind of see it in the light, there is a logo on his back cloth. I don't think it has any significance toward anything. It's just kind of cool looking, which is maybe why they opted to use that. But it's about it for this part. We'll get looking at the accessories and all that, go over those, and then we'll put them in some fancy poses for you guys. So here are all of Starkiller's accessories, minus the lightsabers that are on his belt, but I will be going over those for you guys. So here we've got it's his lightsaber with a wire on it. This one does light up. It plugs into a battery pack, which is right here. And there's two ways you could clip this on. You could opt to clip it onto his belt with this piece right here. And then it just plugs in by USB, and then you plug the lightsaber into that part right there. Or you can, it comes with a separate piece if you want to attach it by the crotch grabber, which that's really up to you, which you prefer to do, but you just plug the USB in there and then it lights up. And here is the part I was talking about with the you can attach to the crotch grabber. So a lot of people would prefer to do that, but personally, I just prefer to keep it on the belt. But either way, I'll go over the stand and show you guys how it would work with that. And here we've got two hands, both, fists for holding lightsabers. He does have his original lightsaber from earlier in the game, before he donned the Sith armor. So you can have him dual wield the lightsabers if you want, which I appreciate them adding because he doesn't use two lightsabers in the first game, but obviously he has a plethora of lightsaber trophies, so I'm glad we're able to use both of those. And here we've got a force hand. You know, whether he's grabbing something, pushing something, pulling something, doesn't really. He's doing something with the force. Um, and I just think it looks really cool. I do wish we could have gotten one for both hands though. And here we've got his regular lightsaber. Same as the last one, only difference is this one doesn't light up, and there is a ring there to attach to his belt, which I'll show you guys how to do. And here we've got two regular blades. If you do want to dual wield, they give you two. You just plug them into the lightsabers, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And here we got two more lightsaber attachments. These are obviously meant to represent a lightsaber in motion. You see the gradient here, that's obviously the side that's swinging, and that's the trail it's leaving. So with these, I do have a problem with these. You see, when you put it in a lightsaber, if you're swinging a lightsaber, it should be at a 90-degree angle and then leave a trail behind it, right? These ones, they don't do that. It doesn't go straight. It's like a cone shape from the emitter, which it just doesn't look right. It makes it look weird. That's why I usually don't opt to use these. And I hope that Hot Toys fixes that issue because it's probably not noticeable to most people, but it bothers me. I don't like that they do that. But either way, you get two of them. The gradient looks good, but hopefully they fix that angle problem in the future. And here we've got a just a commemorative coin. It isn't really anything too special as part of an accessory, but this figure was part of a limited May 4th release. They only made a limited amount of these. Same with the Dark Empire Luke Skywalker. So all the special editions they released for the May 4th came with a commemorative coin. Probably just going to keep it in the bag and keep it in the box. Not going to display it because it's just a little coin. So here are all the lightsabers you guys got a brief look at before that I had on Starkiller's belt just to show him off and complete the look. And I already showed you guys his lightsaber. So yeah, I'll go through these. Here is Starkiller's original lightsaber from the beginning of the game when he was Vader's apprentice. The armor he's using on the figures, you know, after that. Here is General Koda's lightsaber, I believe it's his. The first Jedi that Vader sends Starkiller to hunt in the first mission. The blind guy. You guys know who I'm talking about if you played the game. Koda's a pretty important character. So yeah, I like all the detail on it. You can take these rings off as well, which I'll show you later. And here, this is a 2-in-1. They're connected. And here we've got what looks to be Anakin's Episode 2 saber and half of Darth Maul's. So they're in the game. If you've played, you know you fight a lot of iconic characters through a training robot named Proxy. He can just turn into other characters and use their abilities. Hence fighting Darth Maul. There's even a point he turns into Obi-Wan. That's pretty cool. But you don't get that lightsaber. Either way, you hook these onto the belt, which you obviously saw before. And this, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't know what this thing is. It looks like a Star Wars thing, tell you that, but I don't exactly know what it is. Looks like something they just have there for filler space, but that's fine to me. It looks cool, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys how to, put the lightsabers on the belt. You just kind of hook this little clip here onto his belt. And that's really all there is to it. It's pretty simple. I mean, simple in concept, you would think. It's actually a bit of a pain in the ass because this belt is really tight, but we can get that on there. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm going to cut it because it took me like kind of a fucking minute to get these on, so I'm gonna cut to when I have it on. But you get the idea. You clip it onto his belt. Alright, so after spending an embarrassing amount of time on that, I'll show you guys how to get the other ones on, because I struggle with these ones significantly less. But yeah, since these are on the same one, you start with the Anakin one on the right side of his back, and then follow up with the Darth Maul on the back. I did get this secondhand, and the guy did not have instructions in there. So I had to look at pictures of Starkiller to see how he had them on his belt. But hey, Might even be more accurate than how the instructions had them. So you just have them, these two right on the back. Easy as that. Alright, so now we'll put General Koda's lightsaber on the belt here. Same process as the other one. Just grab the hook and put it on the belt. Specifically emitter facing to the left side. That's how it was in the picture. Looks pretty cool. And it's really the same process for any of those. It doesn't have to be exact, just whatever orientation you prefer. It really doesn't really matter. And then this little weird looking thing. The little weird looking thing does actually go on his right side after taking a second look. Again, small detail, but I prefer to have those small details. It's what makes these figures for me. So you see he's got a little clip on his belt there. Oh yeah, got to put his original one on. Right there. Bada bing, bada boom. Lightsaber on the belt. Alright, and this little hook here, that's where his current lightsaber goes. You see the little ring I pointed out to you before? It just kind of slots into there. Easy as that. Nothing else to it. That's the orientation I choose. You can do whatever with them. Don't really matter. But that's how I like them. Alright, now I'll show you guys the stand and how the crotch grabber works. It's a little different than most figures. And then I'll get to posing them up for you and then give you guys my final thoughts. And here we got the stand. Nothing too crazy. Just kind of like Star Wars metal grate floor. Yeah, it's pretty much all the details there. Got a plaque in front. Nothing crazy on the bottom, just copyright shit. But with the crotch grabber, it does work a little different, as I said before. You notice on the bottom, it's not just kind of the clip that attaches into the base like it usually is. So you see on the back here, it's got a little latch, if it'll focus. Looks a bit like a staircase. So what you do, it's really simple. And one thing I like about the stand, to get off track, is you can place this anywhere. It's not like the usual stands where it's just in one spot on the base, and that's it. Since it is movable, you can place it in any of these slots, just like that. Put the latch part on the bottom and then push it down. It's as easy as that. And you can have it be anywhere on there, which I like a lot. Even somewhere on the front, which I don't know why you'd put it there, but you can. The option's there. Alright guys, listen, I didn't mean to get snappy with you. Just, you know, it happens. But here's pose number 1 for you guys. Got them all set up in a classic Starkiller pose. I feel like this one's a classic, old but gold. And you see I'm making use of the wires in the cloth down here. Make it look like it's blown in the wind. One of my favorite features on figures. I love when figures have wired capes or skirts, whatever they got. If it's cloth and it's got a wire in it, I'm gonna love it. But yeah, here's pose number 1, showing them off for you. And let me get them going in pose number 2. You guys knew it was going to be here, and here it is, pose number 2. Utilizing the same set of hands, just changing the position that he's standing in. Again, utilizing the wires in the cloth, because that's just my favorite fucking feature in these things. God, I love that fucking wired cloth, dude. It gets me going. But yeah, this is one of the poses that I say is like intensive, where you're going to want to remove the collar and the shoulder pad and then put them back on after you get it posed. Because if you don't, they could start rubbing together. It'll damage the paint, damage the pads, and obviously you don't want that for your figure. Again, showing you the lightsabers back here. His back panel also does come off. I forgot to tell you guys that, the little triangle back there. And his Padawan braid is on. Gonna take that off, but it can be removed, rest assured. If you don't like the Padawan braid, it can come off, all right? Don't give me a hard time about it, because I don't show you. It's easy. You just pull it out, okay? God damn. Oh, wait, and who would have thought we got pose number 3 coming up? You know, maybe he's force dashing to you or jumping to you. Something. He's just ready to fuck you up and attack you, it looks like. Here, I'm utilizing both lightsabers. I got his and his current and his original from Force Unleashed. Using the crotch grabber to give him a more of a dashing look. He's not really, you know, his foot isn't planted on the ground, so without the stand, that wouldn't be possible. Again, got them wires in the cloth going, making it really sell the dashing move. Just making it, oh man, yeah. Again, the spiky bits stabbing the fuck out of me when I'm trying to put the hands in. Hurts like a bitch. But they look cool, so whatever, man. It is what it is. Giving you a little roundabout here on the lightsabers. Now, I'm sure you blokes gathered it from the last pose, but with his lightsabers, you can take them off the belt. You just you take them off the belt. You can remove the hook and the screw that is on it if you want him to use it. And I'll show you exactly how to do that because it's pretty easy. It can come off like a plug, or you can unscrew it. So there's the hook with the screw on it. And then, as you would imagine you do with the screw, you screw it in or out, depending on how you want it. But be careful when you're doing it. The plug, it will come out. It's not very. Once you remove it the first time, it's not nearly as secure. You see me just pulling it out there, but it does have a little notch in there to indicate where to plug it back in for it to stay best. And then you just screw it back in, and then you put her back on the belt. Just because I like this figure so much and I like you guys a little bit, I decided to throw him in an extra pose while I'm giving my final thoughts. Now this figure, man, this figure is something else. I don't know if it's just because I'm biased because it's super nostalgic for me, but man, I remember when I was a kid and the demo for Force Unleashed came out, the one where you're in the TIE Fighter factory. Man, I played that shit like hundreds of times. And then I finally got the game on Christmas. And guess what? I beat it hundreds of times and I still play it to this fucking day. So yeah, there's nothing really that jumped out at me on this figure that I would particularly complain about other than the tiniest nitpicks. Like one of the nitpicks I have is in his original lightsaber, since it does have a open chamber, I would have liked if they painted a red kyber crystal in there. But hey, I mean, come on. Something that small, who fucking cares? That's just me crying at that point. Something else I would have liked, which is a little bigger of a problem, but still not really a big deal. I would have liked if we got another Force push, pull, whatever. Just another Force hand, because, that's like that's Starkiller's whole thing, is he's super powerful in the Force. And you could recreate the scene of him taking down the Star Destroyer, or just doing something. One thing I also would have liked is maybe a lightning effect, but that's okay. And here I got him in his final resting place next to my Vader Hot Toys, which I will soon be doing a review on, but I'm going to do Darth Maul first. New Maul show got announced. It'll help me in the algorithm, so the Maul show is going to make me do the Maul figure. But here's him with the light off, his lightsaber on, all lit up. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. 9.8 out of 10.